All right, guys. I think we're live now. Welcome, everybody, to our Mainnet 2 live stream. Happy to be with you all again. My name is Michael. I'm the Global Marketing Manager at Akash Network. Greg and Adam, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Hi, my name is Greg Osuri. I'm the CEO co-founder for Akash Network.
Hey, I'm Adam, CTO co-founder at Akash Network. Really happy to be here speaking with you all.
So today, we're super excited to be sharing all the hard work that we put into launching Mainnet 2. And we're really excited to have our CEO and CTO co-founders of Akash here to share all that information with you guys. At the end of the stream, like always, we're going to open it up to a Q&A. So please keep all your questions coming in the chat box. We try to get to as many of them as possible. This stream will be announcing the winners from the last stream, as we always do. And just a reminder, now that we've moved to YouTube, the giveaways are going to be a little bit different. So in order to win, you're going to have to, 1, subscribe to the channel, 2, participate in the chat box, so ask questions, comments, or whatnot. And then you need to fill out the Google form in the description. We'll be choosing 4 winners this time, and 3 of them will be winning some exclusive Akash merch, and then 1 will be winning a Ledger Nano X. So again, please remember to hit subscribe and also participate in the conversation and fill the Google form. And so let's just get into it. So we'll start with some company updates. So as you guys know, we launched a blog earlier this week talking about our involvement in IBC. We developed and are launching the IBC Relayer, which is essentially the user interface that enables all transfers and transactions on IBC. Akash is now one of the first networks in the entire Cosmos ecosystem which has IBC and IBC Relayer integrated. And this is really powerful because what IBC allows us to do is essentially a barrier to adoption for the network because it will enable other currencies to pay for cloud on the marketplace. Couple other things that are really exciting. We reached a milestone of 2 million blocks, which is awesome. AKT also hit an all-time high for $3.56. So thank you to all of our supporters for helping us get to that milestone. And we also had a record-setting 93% of online voting power to help us pass Prop 2, which was the Mainnet 2 upgrade pre-proposal. So thank you to all the community members and everybody who participated in the voting. That turnout was really remarkable. And so I'm just going to kind of open up the floor. I'm going to start asking some questions of both Greg and Adam. And both of you guys feel free to chime in whenever you feel like it, okay? So first question is kind of more of a boilerplate question. What need is Akash's decentralized cloud marketplace actually addressing here?
Sure, I can take that, or you want to take that, Adam?
Yeah, go ahead.
Really, so the first need is the cloud, which is the foundational fabric of modern society. I think we can all agree on it, is increasingly becoming centralized, controlled by 4 companies. Number one thing Akash addresses is breaking this oligopoly and giving cloud back to the people, right? So the outcome of that is just significantly decentralized network, which is a lot safer and a lot better for when it comes to controllers and ship resistance. And Akash is really meant and built for a modern developer in mind. So the experience is far better than what you would use a cloud today. And the third is the price, right? So Akash offers, because it's a market-driven price model, Akash is where the user sets the price instead of the companies or institutional setting the price. So you can experience anywhere from 2x to 3x off the bat, and in some cases much higher of price advantage compared to the current market.
And Greg, I think a lot of people on Twitter are talking about, we had SPF talking about this, we had CZ talking about this. There was a major AWS outage, which is basically essentially shutting down, or not completely shutting down, but causing a bunch of problems with some of these major exchanges. And exchanges are definitely not the only businesses that are suffering from these AWS outages. Maybe you can touch on some of the things that Akash brings to the table that will help businesses avoid full shutdowns like that.
Yeah, so what's happening is in a cloud gives you this false premise that, hey, it's ultimately scalable and put all your eggs in one basket and we'll take care of everything. And what happened today, this morning, Binance went down, FTX went down because they all trusted Amazon is the panacea, right? Solves all the problems. But in reality, for tens of years, we always had much redundant, highly redundant setups. So the idea behind the cloud that it solves all the scalability problems and give us your money, will take care of everything is just false. These things keep going down over and over again. So what Akash comes into play is like, even though right off the bat you cannot replace Amazon, but it provides an extremely great alternative as a disaster recovery site, as a failover site, right? And right off the bat, Akash is coming out, launching the mainnet by in early next month. I mean, the first or second week of next month. And right off the bat, users will have access to incredibly high quality, low cost bare metal computing, right? I think more folks should take this into consideration as a excellent disaster recovery or failover site. So I think what the recent outages also taught people is like, hey, you can't keep your eggs in one single basket. You got to think of a redundant setup, and you got to think of a setup that's not the cloud. And really, what other alternative do you have other than Akash right now?
Thank you,
right?
Greg.
Adam, you
awesome.
want to add something to it?
No, I think they got it well. No.
Okay, sweet. So on to the next question. A lot of people are really curious about what is Mainnet and why is it actually so important? What is it going to enable specifically? I know we've shared a couple of blogs about that, but maybe you can just briefly unpack some of that for our viewers right now.
Yeah, sure. I could take this one. So Mainnet 2 is actually the first release of our platform. Mainnet 1 was really just building stability of the network. It was mostly just transfers, but Mainnet 2 will actually be able to the platform is going live. It's the MVP of our platform. People will be able to run applications on the Akash network. So it's really exciting. It's been a long time coming for us. It's been a lot of work by the whole team, and so we're really looking forward to it.
Great, awesome. And maybe Greg, maybe you want to talk about. Go ahead, Greg.
To add to that, Mainnet is our first. Mainnet effectively completes a white paper that we published a few years ago. So this is most of the white paper is delivered in this mainnet.
Yeah, and in terms of what it's going to enable, we had our last testnet gives you a really good idea of it. We have the awesome Akash repo that's left over from it, and I don't remember the number. A large number of applications were deployed under the testnet, and Mainnet 2, supports all of that stuff, and we threw some extra stuff in there as well that were needed. So we're really looking forward to seeing what people deploy onto the platform, and just to get it out there in people's hands. And that's what Mainnet 2 is about.
Really excited. The team has worked nights and days to get here. So really excited for this release.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for the answers. So, big news in the Cosmos ecosystem obviously was that Stargate finally released, which is for Cosmos, sort of the actualization of their white paper. And so I think a lot of people have been asking, and I've been getting a lot of this feedback in all of our social channels, what is Stargate and what does IBC actually mean for Mainnet 2? And I think that's a great question. Maybe you guys can just talk about what that means for us.
Well, to me, Stargate really, I mean, it's one of the reasons why we originally went with the Tendermint ecosystem way back when, is because, when you're building a blockchain application, there's a tendency to have them be kind of these isolated systems. But with IBC, it enables us to really interact with all kinds of other independent chains that do their own thing. So the immediate benefit, when we first launch it, it's going to kind of be we could send tokens to and from other chains and things like that. But as we build out, we're going to start leveraging other blockchains from within our blockchain. So if people have, if there's DNS systems that we can use so that when you deploy, you want to either, lease or procure DNS names, we can interact with that. If there's exchanges to make it easier, basically to interact, to have a marketplace with more than one currency. We can do that kind of stuff. So it's really opening up a whole new landscape for us. And there's going to be a lot of things that we can do within it.
Yeah, on top of that, I think it positions Akash as the gateway for decentralized cloud. Like Adam was saying, if you want to use DNS, you should be able to do that in a frictionless way, like you would do on the cloud today, right? Or if you want storage, Akash doesn't do storage. Akash does compute. Long-term storage on Filecoin or Siacoin or RV can be used via IBC. So what IBC brings to the table, or Stargate brings to the table, is Ethereum level interoperability without the cost, right? So with Ethereum, what you see is, well, Ethereum has a shared security model that also implies, or that also means it's a shared budget. So even though small things like NFTs or CryptoKitties, it doesn't require the level of security that a DeFi application that secures billions of dollars require, you end up paying the same gas costs, right? Because it's a shared security model. Where Cosmos is different. Cosmos is essentially a network of sovereign chains with their own security budget and their own cost model and their own economics. That's why you'd be able to transfer millions of dollars on Akash by paying like few less than a cent, right? So that's kind of like scalability Cosmos chains provide. But of course, that also means you don't really interoperate with each other because of its independent nature of these blockchains. So what Stargate brings to the table is the interoperability while having that highly decentralized and distributed security model. So I think this is a paradigm shift in how blockchains communicate today. I'm really excited that Akash is taking a lead position, and as far as I know, I think Akash will be the first chain to upgrade to Stargate connectivity. Thorchain is also working on it, so we are really looking forward to getting a lot of the liquidity and tech support very, very soon.
Awesome, thank you, Greg. And I think one really interesting thing is a lot of our followers don't fully understand what is the process of transitioning to mainnet, right? Like mainnet 2 rather. So a lot of people understand that we have mainnet 1 and that mainnet 2 is coming, but they don't really understand what's between that point and the actual launch of mainnet 2, right? And so maybe you can just briefly explain to the audience, hey, these are some quick steps that need to happen for us to get to mainnet 2 launch in the beginning of March.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the process, it's a pretty involved process compared to a typical software release, because of course it's a decentralized network and there's a lot of people involved. And so I'd say between mainnet 1 and mainnet 2, a lot of work happened. There were a lot of upgrades. And then as we're getting close to code complete on all that. We reached out, we did a kind of a proposal just to test the upgrade, and so that one passed. And when the validators were testing the network upgrade, there was an issue, so that delayed us a little bit. But long story short, we tried it again. The upgrade worked, and then we were able to submit the final upgrade proposal. Now with that, now it's we're getting quite close. We have a test net up for people that integrate with the network to test the newer features and make sure that they can integrate with mainnet 2. And when the proposal's done, then we'll be able to kind of sync up with everybody at a particular time, export the previous network, and import it into the new network and reboot. The Cosmos team just went through this process the last couple of days. It's a pretty intense process when you do it, but it's just kind of it'll be fun. It'll be a fun rush, I think.
Awesome. Yeah, maybe we'll do some sort of a countdown or something for everybody, so you guys can be a little bit more involved once the date gets a little closer. And
We're going to have a watch party, right, for the upgrade itself?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we'll have some sort of where everybody can kind of
thing is, like,
join.
these are decentralized networks and blockchains are public utilities, and what you're experiencing right now is an upgrade for a public utility. It's fascinating to watch, for me at least, how these upgrades are done. It's a month-long process, like Adam mentioned. You have a pre-proposal to test the readiness, then you have the actual proposal, because Akash doesn't run any servers, or it's a fully decentralized network, right? Like some others do, and we have to rely on the validators that secure the blockchain and validators run the network. So it's really exciting to see decentralized networks evolve and come to maturity.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, guys. And I think a lot of people want to understand exactly what features are coming with Mainnet 2. So Adam, maybe you can just unpack, and again, we released this blog earlier in the week, but for those of you who haven't read, but Adam, go ahead and unpack some of it.
Yeah, I've been so down in the weeds with it. Let me bring up the list just to make sure I don't forget anything.
Yeah, totally. Take your time.
Okay, so so obviously we've been talking about IBC compatibility. That's something that we just kind of get for free by using Cosmos SDK. It requires some extra testing, but that's it. So we have a new deployment tool that I'll be showing you in a little while that makes kind of just interacting with the blockchain a bit easier. I feel like we had some of this stuff. The provider daemon has some extra features around pricing to make pricing a little bit more flexible. We added during our last testnet, when you're communicating with the provider daemon, there wasn't any authentication, and so we've actually added MTLS authentication between a client and a server for those things, for when you're like getting your lease status or when you're getting your lease logs. So that one actually required us we needed a way for the server to be able to like authenticate the user that's coming and tie that user to the lease. And so what we did for that is we now put public certificates on chain for users. And so when a user gets a request, when a server gets a request, it gets the public cert also from the client and matches it with what's on chain. So that's kind of a neat way of doing certificate distribution. So we just use the blockchain for it. So that adds some security there. And then I'll also be showing you guys later, we added, for performance, we added escrow accounts. And so previously, when you had a lease, every single block tokens would go from the tenant to the provider. That turns out to be really it can be like not performant enough to the point where it can be problematic on a public chain. And so instead of doing that, we added kind of a passive way of transferring tokens that involves escrow accounts and withdrawing from those accounts, similar to how if people are familiar with staking on Cosmos, it's a very similar mechanism where you have to withdraw your rewards. So those are the big ones that I can think of right now.
Yeah, I think from the overall, like what you can expect from the mainnet is, like, number one is the decentralized cloud marketplace, right? So this is the first like decentralized cloud marketplace with a reverse auction system, where providers essentially contribute compute and tenants use a compute. It has a like I said, it's a very flexible bid pricing. Like, providers can configure what they want on their pricing and whatnot, and they can give different parameters as to how they want to sell their compute. It has IBC compatibility. It has an incredible deployment tool, which makes it much simpler to deploy. Before you're basically doing a bunch of transactions and didn't really feel like deployment. Felt like you're operating against a blockchain. And it has audited attributes, which is a way to sort of like give improve trust. As you know, decentralized systems, you don't really know who you're interacting with, but with audited attributes, you'll be able to like vet some of these providers and kind of get a sense of like trustability, like with how do you know like you're deploying to Amazon or Google or Equinix, right? So that sort of things. And StateSync, I think Tendermint's latest upgrade brought this incredible feature where you can actually a node can come up with a significantly faster rate than syncing a full node. So all these are going into mainnet too. So it's a lot of work the team has done.
Awesome, thanks guys. And then just wanted to, Greg, I mean, maybe I think you touched on this a little bit, but maybe you can just talk about just the general like timeline between now and the Mainnet 2 launch. Like what is that going to look like in terms of timeline?
Yeah, so like I said, we did a pre-proposal to get the readiness for all the validators. We got about 93% of vote indicating that majority of the network is ready to go, and all the validators are ready to go. That led us to posting the second proposal. Again, community did this. Thanks so much for Witwit for taking the lead. And all the other validators, BLVNet and others, for posting the deposit on it. The voting period has begun for this second proposal. This is the final proposal to make sure that all the validators, exchanges, block explorers, wallets, all of them upgrade to mainnet 2 and be ready to switch over. And if everything goes well, I think it takes about 14 days for the upgrade to complete. And we are currently aiming for March 8th, 2021, for the mainnet 2 to be ready and accessible. You might see some interruption while the switchover happens from exchanges on the blockchain, and that's a planned maintenance by our validators. So. If all goes well, March 8th is what we're looking at for Mainnet 2.
Sweet. Thank you so much, Greg. And now,
incredible confidence, and we tested this. Like Adam was saying earlier, we tested this upgrades. All our validators have successfully upgraded from Mainnet 1 to Mainnet 2 on the testnet. So there's every indication that this should be successful. But things could go. It's public utilities, public blockchains, anything could happen. But we're very confident this will actually go through by March 8th. So,
sweet. Thank you so much, Greg. Really excited for that. And I know you guys like demos. We've gotten some great feedback from you in the past about demos. Adam, did you want to give the audience a demo today?
Yeah, sure. Let me share my screen.
So Adam is going to demonstrate the new escrow features. And which are essentially security updates that we did since the last time you saw this. So
yeah, so I have
Adam, can you hit on hide there on that?
Which one? I do
screen sharing.
Some Linux thing I do, and it doesn't go away.
Oh no, that's
really weird. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, well,
yeah, I could try to move it out of the way.
But. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So I'm hooked up to a test network, and I will show you guys our new deploy tool. So the deploy tool is actually originally written by Jack Zamplin, and so we really appreciate it's really cool. It's great. We've been typing commands one by one for a really long time, and just to have something do it automatically, it's really nice to have. Eric on our team has updated it to be compatible with our latest versions. So I think I could just do this. I have a deployment YAML here. And over here on the right side, you'll be able to see the events that get created on the network. So here, deployment was created, an order was created. Hopefully soon here, you'll see a bid gets created. And I don't know, we're working on Eric. I think that our developer is working on the working on this testnet. So I'm going to actually, I'll just go to our dev environment. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, we're in the middle of an upgrade, so
Yeah.
demonstrating upgrades in the middle of the upgrades are not the best things to do. So let's give Adam some time here. And there are a lot of people working on it. I don't think we told them that we're going to do a live stream, so I'm going to ping our engineers to not mess with things. Take your time, Adam.
Okay. So I'm creating just a dev environment network. I have to start Kubernetes on my local thing. That will take just a second. I think I'm running a node, and I'm going to make a provider. And let's see here. Okay, nodes up, provider, run. So the provider is running. I'll open up a tab for events run. We'll show you the events. And here, hopefully, this one. Oh, I didn't create it.
Got to change the config. It's not found.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm having problems. It's a failed demo.
Well, yeah, let's get the demo for now. I think there's too many things happening at this moment.
Yeah.
The upgrade is happening, so demonstrating something in the middle of the upgrade is not something that we like to do, especially in the last hour. But let's save this demo for next session after the upgrade is complete. But guarantee it's working. We wouldn't launch otherwise. So
yeah, sorry guys.
Hey, it's totally fine. Really appreciate the effort, Adam. And Greg, maybe you want to answer some questions now from the community.
Well,
go ahead.
Yeah, sure. What questions?
Let me take a look.
Tons of questions.
We have so many questions right now.
I can't scroll the screen.
I got it. Okay, great question. Security is always a top priority for investors. So how can you explain to us how Akash Network project security? So I think he's asking, how do we make sure that the network is secure? I think that's the question.
Well, you have the same level of security guarantees any cloud provider would have. Like Akash is run on one of the most secure networks and world's largest interconnected network, Equinix. So, and Equinix, Amazon uses Equinix, so guarantee you're going to have more security than Amazon, right? Probably because you have one layer beneath. We also, about trustability, we have something called audited attributes. You're working with Equinix because it's audited by a trusted entity. It's bare metal server, so you don't have the additional attack surface a hypervisor or any other additional software on the metal actually provides. And you get the same level of security guarantees that Linux containers give you. So it's a fairly secure environment.
Great, thank you, Greg. Next question. Are you a global or local project? Can anybody anywhere use your project without any restrictions?
Yes, Akash is permissionless. It can be accessed anywhere from the globe, runs on a blockchain. No one can stop you from using Akash. Even I can't stop you. from using Akash. The Akash team, and which essentially works for a company called Overclock Labs, does not run any of the nodes, and we're completely decentralized. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Greg. Let's see. As I am a developer with knowledge of programming knowledge such as Solidity, C++, Java, etc., can I create decentralized apps on your platform? And how easy is it to create those apps on your platform?
You can run any application that can be run on the cloud on Akash. So Akash is for, not only decentralized applications in the sense in the traditional sense of what a dApp is you're running on a Ethereum, and using Solidity. So Akash is not a dApp platform; it is a cloud platform. You can run an Ethereum node and you can run a dApp on top of the Ethereum node, but Akash doesn't give you direct Solidity access where you can deploy a smart contract, right? That's for smart contracts. We don't support smart contracts. Yes, you can run a C++, application in a container. And if you want to see the examples of different applications, check out this repo called Awesome Akash. It's on our GitHub, github.com/overclock, overclk/awesome Akash. And you should see a list of applications and their respective configuration files on how to use them. This is a community contributed repository for you to really get an idea as to what kind of applications you can deploy on Akash.
There you go. Thanks, Greg.
And it should be much simpler. It's very simple. You just see these configuration files, you understand how simple it is. We have several folks that say it takes a lot less time to deploy on Akash than it would take on Amazon. So, yeah.
Great. Awesome. Next question. We have, there are three core issues prevalent in crypto and blockchain: security, interoperability, and scalability. How does Akash overcome these issues?
I mean, this is a generic question we keep hearing over and over again. I don't think.
Fair enough.
This is just, I don't know who asked this question, but please be a little more original about it next time.
No problem.
It's really annoying to see same questions being asked. Akash is a blockchain. It's a proof of stake system. It's run by a valid set of validators that are decentralized, and we processed over 2 million blocks, and the block settlement time of 6 seconds. I'm not going to answer any generic questions. Let's be more specific.
Sure. We do get this question a lot from a lot of people in our social channels, which is how does someone become actually a validator, and what are the requirements for becoming a validator?
Akash is permissionless. You can go to our docs or akash.network. There is a section on how to run a validator node. Please go check it out. It's a series of steps. If you ran any Cosmos SDK-based chain, that includes Kava or Cosmos Hub or Thorchain or Band Protocol or any of these nodes, you can essentially the same process on how to run one of these nodes. You do need to be a top 64 because Akash is limited to 64 validators, and you need to have community delegate those tokens to you in order to be the top 64. That's the only requirement. So a lot of the folks that participated in our incentivized testnets earned enough tokens and delegation power to become top validators. And if you want to become a validator, you need to convince the community to delegate to you, and you need to do something nice to the community in order for them to trust you as a validator. So build something cool and participate in our community chats, and reach out to us, and we'll help you get enough delegation power. That if we feel that your contributions are worth it.
Awesome. Thanks, Greg. We have a question. What is our expected client segmentation? I guess what he's really asking is what do you think, what types of businesses are going to be deploying on the network?
So I think businesses that, number one, I think Akash is a phenomenal disaster recovery and fault tolerant platform, in the sense that today you're seeing a lot of the exchanges and a lot of these AWS trusted entities going down. Folks should really consider Akash as a decentralized, as a good alternative to some of these critical systems. What we envision in the first, and I'm not asking people to trust Akash, right? So in the beginning, it's a new platform. I understand there's some hesitation of like putting all your eggs on Akash. So we really expect folks to start slowly doing less mission critical workloads like CI servers and like ancillary workloads that kind of contribute to a larger cloud. And getting to trust a platform is climbing the credibility ladder. As we prove ourselves that this is a viable alternative, we're going to see a lot more workloads. I think right off the bat, we're going to see a ton of decentralized finance front ends using Akash. We're going to see a lot of developer tooling, using Akash, a lot of block explorers and like the ecosystem tooling. Is already we are seeing quite a bit of adoption there. Go check out our awesome Akash repo. You'll see the kind of applications people are deploying, so you can get a really good understanding of what people are deploying. I think we're going to see incredible usage in the Cosmos ecosystem, especially with Sentry nodes. Considering Equinix, the provider, has about 200 data centers and the largest interconnected network in the world. It's excellent for hosting Sentry nodes, where you are the first touch sort of like node to from the public. And because of Akash's quick to like provision, quick to deprovisioning nature, like this ephemeral infrastructure, there's rapid deployment signatures. It's great to host Sentry nodes. So there are lots of use cases that we're really excited about. But first things first is that we got to get the network out to the public, and we're going to work our way through in supporting a lot of the use cases.
Great answer. Thank you, Greg. We have a question. Do you plan to offer additional managed cloud services along with raw compute in the future, like reporting, analytics, et cetera?
Yes, that's the holy grail. Right now, Akash, for quick reminder, right now, Akash feels like Amazon ECS or like Elastic Container Service. You can run containers a little more built out than ECS. It's a little much better to use and whatnot. But essentially, you can run containers and you can configure containers on how they communicate with each other on Akash. But holy grail eventually is to support managed services, and we're working towards it. And we want to do so in an open source and in a permissionless manner, like what we do with Akash. And I think when that happens, it'll be really exciting. It'll be great to actually have your database managed by an expert versus self-managing your database like you have to right now. But we're going to do this in steps. The first step is getting our stability in running compute itself, which is pretty exciting. And as we transition or evolve, we want to be able to support managed services, thereby completing the holy vision for a serverless and super cloud, right? That is fully open source and fully decentralized.
Great, thank you, Greg. Someone in the crowd asking, is there a pipeline for customers? Is there a pipeline for corporate customers you're speaking with for adoption?
Oh yeah, I mean, we have a humongous pipeline that we can't obviously share because we don't share pipelines. And we are working with, our biggest big enterprise that we'll be announcing very soon, probably next week, is Equinix, right? It's an open secret at this point. So Equinix is the largest data center network in the world. That will be the first user of Akash, and they're using Akash to actually, offer their computing services, so before we get into large enterprises, I think our target audience and target market happen to be sovereign developers that have full control over budget as well as architecture, and enterprises don't typically have that level of sovereignty in a single developer. So we got to optimize for people that are a lot more advanced and move a lot faster before we can jump on to the big Fortune 500s. But yes, we have a humongous pipeline that we are working through. But you're going to see a lot of high growth entities before we can see like slow growth or large enterprises.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Greg. And I think one major question we can touch on before that I keep seeing all over the groups and in this chat is, are we going to get more liquidity, either before or after Mainnet 2? Maybe you can touch on how IBC kind of plays into that and what our plans are surrounding liquidity.
Liquidity is critical to Akash network, and we're working very hard to improve liquidity. We had to pause our plans till the Akash Mainnet 2 goes live because any exchange integration or any liquidity provider integration requires an upgrade, which is extremely hard. So we are waiting for Mainnet 2 to complete upgrade, and then we will hit the gas on improving liquidity. We can't obviously disclose what centralized exchanges we're working with, but what's exciting about IBC is it opens up our interoperability to the rest of the Cosmos ecosystem. I mean, for the broader ecosystem, but to begin with the rest of the Cosmos ecosystem. And there are decentralized exchanges within Cosmos itself that are going to enable Akash, because we'll be the one of the first IBC connected chains. So you're going to see. There are a few DEX modules like bharvest and Osmosis that Sunny Agrawal is working on that are instantly going to be available for Akash in the very, very short future, near future, hopefully in March, or April timeframe. And with what the Ethereum bridge that's being worked on by Peggy, Akash will be the first class entity that will be supported on this bridge. So once this bridge is complete, you'll be able to see Akash in more of the Ethereum-based decentralized exchanges. So keep a lookout for that. IBC, the first benefit of IBC for Akash is improved liquidity. So we're really excited about it, and we're working towards improving the liquidity, as well as other ecosystems, including Solana and whatnot. And there are bridges being built to Cosmos ecosystem by Solana folks, the Solana validated community. So you're going to see a lot of that come across as well. So IBC opens up a lot for Akash. That's why we're super excited, and that's why we work very hard to contribute to making IBC a success.
Okay, thank you, Greg. And one last question. I mean, we're getting this a lot in Telegram and in this chat. People want to kind of have an idea of what's on the roadmap for 2021, at least in the immediate future, like the next quarter.
Adam, you want to take it?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, from a broad perspective, we're really going to take feature requests from the community. I'm really excited to get people's hands on the thing. But we already do know some things that people are asking for, so they can use compute on Akash. One of them is storage. It's a really, really important part. So not just as of now, it's ephemeral storage when you launch your workloads, but we need to have more persistent storage, block storage. So that'll be either least lifetimes and longer from that. It's something that we're going to be looking at. There's this issue of private Docker repositories, things like that we can address. There's a lot of kind of low-hanging little things like that we can address. But big one is storage. There's some cross cluster networking that we're going to be taking a look at. There's some things with the marketplace that we can take a look at, namely around requirements around the providers that you want. And then there's this whole concept of audited providers that we have, and we really want to start to promote that feature and get feedback on that feature so that people use it more often, because that's the key to security on the network.
So a lot of times, there are a lot of features that we want to work on, but ultimately it comes down to what's important to the market and how the market responds. That's why it's important for us to push the mainnet to get it out in the hands of people and actually put across a roadmap after getting feedback from the users, instead of sitting in the dark and thinking that what people want and us building something and that that could waste people's times, right? So a lot of excitement around after Mainnet 2. Like Adam was saying, the big thing is storage, and we have the trustability features with audited attributes, and then we have the networking features, and then interoperability features, right, in the long term, right? So lots of exciting things to work on.
Thanks, guys. That was an awesome Q&A, and thank you to everybody who asked questions. We really appreciate all the questions. We're always here to answer as many of them as we can. I just wanted to take the opportunity to just give a couple shout outs to the community. Citizen Cosmos had Greg as a guest on their podcast, and it was personally, I think it's my favorite podcast Greg's been on. Maybe we can link in the chat. They talk, Greg and Citizen Cosmos talk about open source, DeFi, multi-currency settlement, Kubernetes, and they go a bit in depth into the competitive landscape for cloud. And I think it's a really great primer for those of you who are just joining us, and for those of you who have been with us for several years. I think it's great for you guys too. So go ahead and take a look at that. The link is in, I think the link is, yeah, there it is. Perfect. Also, we got shouted out by Sheldon Evans, who has a community of 400,000 YouTube subscribers. It was really exciting and surprising, but it was really awesome to get that shout. So thank you, Sheldon, for that. And also wanted to thank just the community in general. You guys have been really incredible. We're starting to experience exponential growth. In the last 28 days, our Twitter, we grew 6,000 followers. So we essentially grew almost 50% in the last 28 days. Engagement is up, followers are up, and we finally broke 10,000 members on Telegram, which is really exciting. Russian community broke 3,000 members on their Telegram as well. And so just wanted to thank everybody for being involved in that growth and for sharing us and being our supporters. So thank you for that. And now, just wanted to take some time to do a prize drawing. So like I said earlier in the stream, we'll be drawing from the pool of viewers from our previous live stream. And so I'm going to share the wheel right now with you guys. Give me a second, I'll share the screen. Share screen. Okay, application. Oh, there we go. Okay, guys, here we go. Who's gonna be lucky today? Who's leaving some Akash merch? All right, guys, first spin, here we go. Ooh, that's a great name, Gold Cobra. That's an amazing name. Congratulations, Gold Cobra. Cold Deep, looks like Cold and a Akash t-shirt. All right, who do we got here next? Oh. Alrighty. And now for the Nano X, guys. Let's see who wins the Nano X from the last stream. All right, there it is. Zach M. All right, guys. And if you're one of the lucky winners, just go ahead and shoot an email to hello@akash.network with your username, and we'll make sure to get that to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Let me stop sharing the screen real quick. Awesome. And I guess I just wanted to give the floor up to you, Greg and Adam. If you guys wanted to, if you guys have any closing statements or want to share anything with the community.
I still feel terrible about that missed demo. So next time we'll try to have a more successful one. We've been working really hard, and there's a lot of things in flux. So sorry about that. But
no, I mean, we did do pretty successful demos last few times. So
yeah,
this is a mid upgrade process. But thank you for trying, Adam.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Yeah, but please go to our docs and go check it out. I mean, you should be able to run it yourself, but hopefully we'll do a much better job next time. Yeah.
No, that's about it. And thank you all for coming. Really great questions and great stuff for us to think about. And we appreciate all the feedback from the community, and I'm really, really, really happy to see you all here. So hopefully I'll see you post mainnet too. We'll have another one of these. We'll be celebrating our mainnet launch.
Awesome,
yeah,
guys.
see you at the launch party.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us as always. We really appreciate your support. You can find us on Telegram, find us on Twitter, join our newsletter, find us on, take a look at our blog. We're always posting new updates there. And again, thank you for the support, and we'll see you next time.